outro video today. We had repeat 80s today. Short rest, 2 minutes rest, so it's pretty much just a walk back. This week is a sprint endurance week. Lots of sprinting, lots of 200s, 250s, that kind of thing, 300s. These weeks are deceiving because sprint work seems like, oh, it's just sprint work. The workout be fine. It's when I get home and the next day that like it takes me a little while to recover from sprints. So it's one of those delayed onset type things for me. So today's thought for the day isn't really a thought for the day, but more so me studying. I think I've studied about 8 different theories in clinical mental health, and it's been interesting because although this course is more fun than the first course that I took, I'm in my second course for the term, for the semester. And it's more fun because we're actually getting into theories, how the theories were developed, the overlying basis, the foundation of the counseling profession, basically, in terms of theories. But it's way more work. So it's been kicking my butt while also being a little bit more interesting. There are a couple of things that I find incredibly interesting. First of which being Sigmund Freud is a very familiar name when it comes to psychology and counseling. But when you study these people, when you study these theories, you actually learn a little bit about them. And so the things that you learn about the founders of these different theories is interesting because it's like, oh, they were pretty darn screwed up. And then when you also start to get into the theories themselves, some of them are quite oppressive. They were developed by middle class or upper class white European men. And so some of the theories, as I said, are quite oppressive. That's one of the things that we cover in class too, of like which ethnicities or even working with women, it might be difficult to use these theories on because these theories are based in, you know, whatever. Nonetheless, there are things that you can take from every theory and kind of come up with your own style. Things that you believe in, things that you see have promise, and things that studies have shown work across different ethnicities, values, faith-based, that kind of thing. Sigmund Freud was a cokehead. To find out these crazy things, and then the Oedipus Complex, it's no surprise that some of this stuff people don't even know about until you actually study it, because it's like, okay, this is way far-fetched. The idea that children are attracted to the opposite sex parent, but like not just in like a daddy's girl, mommy's boy kind of way, like sexually attracted to your parents. Like Freud is crazy. But anyway, the most interesting thing that I learned recently was by Adler, the Adlerian theory. And one of the overarching theories of all of the theories, or the overarching themes rather, is we are essentially shaped by our childhood experiences and the positive and negative reinforcements that we've had, whether it be from family, parents, society, teachers, counselors. But those are the things that go on to shape our behaviors and create what we call our defense mechanisms. And each theory has their different definitions of what they are. Defense mechanisms, neurotic responses, congruence. There's even one, the name is slipping my mind now, Gestalt theory talks about being fake. But anyway, the Adlerian theory, what I found interesting was that Adler believes that we develop some insecurities as children. Those insecurities then manifest into anxieties, things that create anxiety for us. And then our defense mechanism is to then try to exert power or control over individuals to kind of make up for that insecurity. So it talks about how, you know, children that grow up in what we would define now as toxic homes, or where, you know, they're being abused at home and their parents are oppressive and abusive, those children grow up to be bullies, or not grow up to be, they are bullies. But it largely comes from this sense of insecurity at home, this sense of powerless at home, and then it turns into that person turning into being a bully and trying to exert power over others around them in order to make up for that feeling of powerless. So it even goes as far as kind of dissecting where oppression in society comes from, where even when you break it down to, you know, the Jews and the Nazis. And I grew up in New York around a lot of Jewish people, but I don't know, saying Jew sounds derogatory. So Jewish people and the Nazis, not Carl Rogers, but another one, the name's gonna come back to me in a second, Viktor Frankl, I think it was. A lot of his theory came from his experience in the Nazi Germany and being in the concentration camps and seeing his family die and going through all of that, and even tracing, oppression. Now people trying to exert their own power because they've been oppressed. And so in that oppression, they've become insecure, and now they're trying to control what they can control and exert power and become Nazis, become bullies, become narcissists. I just thought that was interesting. Like I said, it's been kicking my butt. So I was planning on doing some studying yesterday, but I was literally exhausted when I got home. And then my little guy was really cranky and clingy. He's got some new teeth coming in, so I think that had something to do with it. But anyway, so this was me studying a little bit, but also sharing what I find cool about my studies. And it's interesting. There's so many different reasons why I went into clinical mental health, but I do find myself, trying to find the pieces that I relate to. When I came across that one, I was like, wow, that is huge. Because I have realized that there are certain things in my life that I'm a control freak around, and so it made me think what is it that I'm trying to overcome by overcompensating for this? I know for one thing for sure, when it comes to business and my foundation, sometimes my board members are like, Natasha, give me something to do. I can do more. And I'm just kind of like, oh, okay, well, I could do it. But it's like, what am I trying to make up for by, not letting my teammates help out and do what it is that I handpicked them literally to do? And so it made me think, what is my fear of, the job not getting done, or getting done how I want it to get done? But I've also chosen these people because I know that they are capable and can do awesome work, and we're doing awesome work. But yeah, that was one of the things that stuck out at me. I was like, man, this is a interesting concept, and it makes sense. Some of the concepts that I'm studying, I'm like, I don't know about that one, but that one really stuck out to me, among some others that I will share. But this has now gone on quite a bit. Headed home to get a quick lift in and do some studying, and I would say relax, but Liam, there's no part of that with him. But anyway, I hope I don't know, maybe that gave you something to think about. Maybe you'll research Adler and some of his key concepts, his applications. Maybe it's something that's helpful for you. Maybe you're holding on to something that you maybe need to release. There's some insecurity maybe that you're trying to control, and not that these theories go a step deeper, where it's beyond just letting it go, but getting to the root of. I'm also a firm believer of, once you have an understanding of something and you can recognize the root, then you can go about changing it. Maybe that was a message for somebody. Let me know if you guys would like to hear more about my studies. I find it quite interesting. It might not be so interesting to you all, but I'm loving that not only will I be able to apply this, once I become a professional counselor, but these are also things that I'm most heavily concerned with, or keeping in mind as I raise my Black boy, because I want to raise an emotionally intelligent and available boy that has a voice and is not afraid to use his voice. I was trying to wrap this up 2 minutes ago, and here I go. But anyway, let me know if y'all enjoy this kind of content, or if you want me to keep it to just the thought of a day. But hopefully this was helpful for someone. It was helpful to me in terms of identifying something, but also using y'all to study. But anyway, subscribe, comment, if you have any questions about the workout, put that down below. It was, I believe, 880 meters. It was 880 meter sprints. We had 2 minutes rest, so it was a very brisk walk back. We are running on a slight incline. I don't know if the video can kind of show that we're running a little bit on an incline. That makes it a little bit more difficult, and running on the grass. I guess to give an update about training too, I'm feeling good about where I'm at. I feel eons ahead of where I was this time last year, which this time last year I was only Liam's 15 months. I was only 3 months postpartum, so I'm feeling good, confident, encouraged. I'm gonna stop now because I obviously just can't stop.